All right. We are back at the Grit Won't Quit podcast today. I have two special guests on. We are in beautiful Belmont, New Jersey. Today is a round table power wash discussion, exterior cleaning. Our third guy couldn't make it because he got stuck in a early morning blaze. But we'll miss Jimmy Keegan today. Today, to my left, we have Nick from Get Wet Power Washing. Let me say that again. Get Wet Power Washing.
Correct.
And then we have on my right, Tom Jara from the Wonder Washes. And you also might know him from Wonder Man Handyman. That's when he was on our podcast back in December of 2023 when he didn't even have Wonder Washes, and he was just power washing under the Handyman brand. But now he has set himself up properly to have a second company focused on the exterior cleaning. So good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Great.
Good morning,
How are
Mr.
you doing?
Tom.
Excellent. It's great to see you. Tom, I saw you yesterday, too, at a networking event, 2 in 1 week. It's my lucky week. Nick, everything been good?
Everything's everything, baby.
Everything's everything. So season's well into it. What are you guys, what's been going on? Tell us some of the good things, some of the bad things, some of the obstacles, some of the wins for the season so far.
Well, for me, I could speak for both of us. We're pretty busy from the start of the season right up until like at least July.
So like March to July.
Yeah, that's our busiest part of the season. So that's why we're recording today.
Mm-hmm.
Just so we could get a little time to come down and or up from where we're at and do this.
Yeah, I mean, I think on the Jersey Shore and in the area where we live and work, if you don't have it done by July 4th, it's not as important to you.
Yeah.
Because it's just not that important.
Yeah, plus everyone goes on vacations. They try to get it in before, you got the kids going to school and stuff like that. And, I mean, it's still steady. It still doesn't slow down.
Doing work on an island, too, you have to deal with, everybody wants to be done before the 4th and, basically before Memorial Day.
Yeah,
because they want to have it done so that way their renters are, they don't want anybody there when their renters are there, So it makes sense. However, this time that we're coming into now, you go from being booked 2-3 weeks out to now you're filling your schedule. At least for us, you're filling your schedule week by week, which is good. However, it's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Because you still got people.
Yeah.
My guys have since during this time of the year, I usually lay them off. They can do what they want to do. My two guys, they went back to their regular jobs. So now I'm back out there doing everything that needs to be done because the work comes in, but it's not enough to keep 2 full-time guys on. Now, I know for Tom it's different because he does handyman stuff. He does painting of decks, staining of decks, yada, yada, yada. We do that as well. However, Tom does it in more of a volume because he's a handyman too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For me, it's more or less, can you do this? Sure. You know what I mean? I'm not like advertising that I go out and stain because I really don't want to.
Yeah, it sucks. It does. Nobody likes it. That's a majority of the time when I go to an estimate for anybody's house, whether it's washing the house, staining a deck, painting a deck. We do like reconditioning cedar wood too on houses. Whether it's anything like that, nobody likes doing those jobs. And that's like one of my. It's either they don't show up, the other people that they call, or I just don't have time, or I'm too tired to do it, or I'm getting too old. That's really...
Yep, that's kind of people's thought process on that. So, I mean, from where you guys were last year to where you are today, like, when you look at 2023 versus 2024 and the advancements you've each made in your businesses, how do you feel that has paid off? Has the investment and the hustle,
Hiring last year I had 1 full-time guy.
Mm-hmm.
When I was here a couple weeks ago, I had 2 full-time guys.
Mm-hmm.
Having done 2 full-time guys, I've done more this year than I did last year as far as revenue.
Okay.
In a shorter amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, granted, the profit is relatively the same, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
However, I feel like having put people in the right positions at the right times has allowed me to be more successful. Now, I had a goal, as everybody knows. I think I said it before. I wanted to do $250,000.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not there yet.
Okay.
Am I going to hit it? might come, 50, 60 grand away from it by the end of the year.
Okay.
However, I shot high, so that way I had something to go towards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You have to overshoot the goals.
So, I'm grateful for that. I'm thankful for that. As you know, we went through a transition midway through the season, and it was very seamless. There was no hiccup. It was literally, you sign a couple papers and keep moving.
Yep, sure.
My customer that I did on Monday and the customer I did on Tuesday, they have no idea.
Yep,
You know
sure.
what I mean? It's still the same company. It's still run by the same people. It's still, but it's definitely been an interesting year filled with a lot of tests that I had to get through that made me stronger on the other end of it.
Great.
Yeah.
So,
I can relate to that too, because last year I was doing, like you said, power washing under the Wonder Man Handyman. I chose to do Wonder Washers because I felt that if a customer's looking at my business, even though it has all the good reviews, all the reputable, referrals, they would still be like, why would I hire a handyman? I did Wonder Washers, and then this year I actually just hired my first guy, Justin. So shout out to Justin.
Shout out to Justin. I've met him. He's a nice guy.
He's a great guy. He's killing it out there. He learned, everything I pretty much knew. I taught him. He's still learning. I still have a lot to teach him. But I want to say it's been like 3 or 4 months, and he was just got it down. We get hiccups along the way, but it's definitely a different feeling having an employee. So where Nick, he had, you said one full-time employee last year. Now you got 2. I got 1 this year, actually looking for another guy to help Justin out so I can go out and do the estimates and stuff as well and talk to customers. I still go out and work. There's times where Justin has some personal stuff he's got to take care of, and that goes for any employee, I get that. I'm going to go out in the field. I'm going to take care of it just as well.
Sure.
a leader leads from the front.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
If you have 2 weeks ago, it was 107 degrees outside. And me and Chase did we did a house, we did concrete, we did a fence. We were there for about 5 hours. And it was hot out, but I wasn't sitting there in my car, or I wasn't sitting at home, or I wasn't doing that. I was out there with him to show him that what I'm willing to do is something I ask you to do. And then, now granted, he left and he moved on. However, I explained to him that the reason I do that is because one, it's what a good leader would do. 2, with him being so young, if it can raise the standard of what he expects in a boss or in a work environment for wherever he's going, that's fantastic. You know what I mean? A rising tide raises all ships.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And I think that even with the power wash, the 3 musketeers there, you guys also
Washketeers.
and your musketeers too. But
Great candy bar.
you guys have raised the bar. Like, I think you all kind of know about quality and about making, again, no one's looking for that. No one's trying to be that undercutter, and you guys are all trying to do better work out there, which is going to give the customer a better experience in whichever of the 3.
I'll give you an example. So Tuesday, Tom reached out to me and he's like, yo, I need help washing the roof. My pump broke, whatever. So I'm like, yeah, bro, I'll be there. So I show up, bring all my equipment, we set up, we do the job. At the end of the job, he asked me, he's like, yo, what would you charge for this? So I gave him the number, and then he goes, okay, well, I charge this. I was higher. And it is what it is. But the moral of that being is, I wasn't higher by $500. I was higher by $120. You know what I mean? So we try to keep everything within that range, so that way, whether you call me or you call Tom or you call the invisible man who's not here, you're all gonna be you're all gonna be within the same price, and you're all gonna get the same service. Now, mind you, Tom runs a 12-volt pump. I run a 10-gallon-a-minute gas-operated roof cleaning system.
Which I like. I got to get one of those.
Tom uses it for the first time, and he goes, dude, I got to get one of these. It's a
Great.
2-story
Love
house, never needed a ladder, didn't need to climb up on the roof, nothing, shot it all from the ground.
Yep. It's nice.
But it made, I like things that make my life easier. Granted, Tom's going to buy one, he's going to get to that point, it's going to make his life easier, One of the things that Tom that I appreciate about Tom is Tom literally started from the bottom and worked his way to all the equipment, the trucks, everything else that he has now. I, however, did it a little differently. I took on an investor. I bought everything that I wanted, and then so I've never had to go through,
hustle.
a pump breaking or,
having to fork out that money for something to repair or maintain.
It's not so much that.
Yeah.
It's the quality and the equipment difference is where I was headed with that, because we still hustle, we still go through all those challenges, because when a bill comes in, like I just spent $935 at both of my truck service. Guess why I got paid for that? You know what I mean? Same way Thomas paid for that. So that doesn't matter. I'm talking about the quality of the equipment and how you get what you need to do the job and get it done. Tom can do just as good of a job as I can, and I have a $10,000 power washer, and Tom has a $4,000 power washer.
Yeah.
The moral is I didn't have to go through the build up to all those things, So I don't know what it's like to have to wash with not having what I want. You know what I mean? So I feel like there is gratitude and appreciation for having the things, and there's also gratitude and appreciation for not having to deal with that. However, there is a part of me that's like, fuck, I wish I did.
Yeah.
Sorry. But you know what I mean? There's still that. There's still
totally.
that. But I think that the quality of the service that you give, like I tell people all the time, when you hire us, you get an experience. You deal with me from the beginning. You deal with me all the way to the end. I want to know your dog's name. I want to know your kid's name. I want to know why you're doing your project. I want to know, are you satisfied?
Now, are you
when you're
storing
done?
that stuff in a CRM so that like you remember it down the road?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Why?
I have this thing. I don't know what it is. You could call me up and be like, hey, it's Mary Smith. Perfect, Mary. What's your address? Next question I ask. As I tell them, I got to look it up through, I can only look it up through your address. I can't look it up through your name. Then I go on Zillow as I'm talking to them. I type in their address. I pull up the house. If I see a house, I instantaneously remember who you are, what I did there, what your fish's name was.
So you have a photographic memory once
Pretty
you see
much.
the house, but that doesn't scale a business.
Correct.
So how do you, again, for the young entrepreneur, for the guy who's trying to hustle and get to that next level, you got to start thinking about how to systematize that, because again, if you ever go to and get an inside person to help you, they need to know it. They're not going to have that photographic memory.
Correct. However, there is, like, for instance, we do a lot of repeat customers. So it was the first time Chase was there. It was the first time, Hunter was there. And I explained to them, okay, you're doing Bob's house. I've done Bob's house every year for the last 3 years. I tell them, listen, Bob's house is in the middle. His two sisters live on either side of you.
Oh, you told me
have to
about
make
those
sure that
guys.
you have to do, you have to make sure that your quality of service here is fantastic, just like it is on every other job. My guys have a system. When you get there, you knock on the door. Hi, I'm Chase. Get with power washing. I have your estimate pulled up. We're doing X, Y, and Z here. Let's take a walk around your property, see what's going on, point out any imperfections. Then, when they're done, they knock on the door. They walk it again. It's our reviews, we do have good customer service, and they do understand all that. Now, if a customer calls me, Mary Smith, I can pull up Mary Smith's, previous services, and I know where to go from there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So as far as knowing,
I know,
where
but I
can
think
and
you
can't.
can. I think you could even do better if you put in her dog's name and why she's doing this into something, so that as you continue to grow and you can't look at every job and you have somebody making your follow-up calls or booking stuff, whatever, that you can systematize this so that more data is stored, so that you have know more about the customer.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea. I think that I could definitely.
I think it would
find a
just
way
help
to
you.
do that. Yeah.
Again, I like to know a lot of information. I also have a very good memory. So, like, for me, same thing. I know, I did this job back, blah, blah, blah. I did this. I knew everything about it. But as I have brought on account managers and stuff like that, they don't know that. So the more that's in a database and more that's in a CRM or a system, the easier it is as you continue to grow and know, this is this person. And again, I think it'll help you as your brand continues to grow and you guys bring on more employees, that Justin knows, all right, when we go to this house, their dog is this person, this is the dog's name, and we make sure we close the gate because whatever.
They have a koi pond. You got to tarp the koi pond.
Yeah, I just think that there's a lot of little things, and I think that sets people apart. And again, you guys both have great customer service. You both have great reviews. So I think as you think about that, that's just one of those things I would just, as a recommendation, look to build on.
I'm open.
Cool. Yeah. What do you do in your CRM world?
For my CRM world, I basically just take like basic notes in there. I mean, now I have Kristen also answering the phone, so shout out to Kristen too with Wingman.
Kristen, shout out to Wingman for reception service.
I can't tell you how many times since she's only been doing it, about a month now?
About a month, yep.
So I've gotten many, compliments like, oh, the lady that answers the phone is so sweet and nice, and I love dealing with her, I love talking to her, I love talking to you guys. Even Justin, like I actually grew up with Justin in our hometown, Ocean Gate. So I kind of knew him a little bit before then. We did all the stuff that normal kids do. Mm-hmm. So then when he initially asked, hey, like I'll help you out if you're hiring, I hired him and I took him around and led by example. I took him up to the door. I talked to the customers, this and that. Fast forward a little bit when I'm able to send him out on his own. He just kind of like it's natural for him as well. Like, like he will go up to the customer. I already was able to see it in the very beginning, that he's able to like talk to the customer. Hey, do you have any concerns for me before I start? Mm-hmm. Is there anything, did your dog go to the bathroom yet? This and that. And doing stuff like that, really helps you set apart from the people that are just there for the check. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You got somebody going there, they're like, I just got a job, actually. Just perfect example. I just landed a job this morning. I went to go do an estimate yesterday. I talked to her, very nice lady, and she didn't like the last company that came out because...
Was it Get Wet?
No, it was not Get Wet. I do always ask, though. I'm like, because...
That was a joke. We know you do great work.
I always ask because I'm like...
I know which company it was.
I don't. She didn't even know the name. She didn't even know the name.
She didn't know their name. Next.
But she I was like, what was it about that company that you didn't like? If they did a good job on the house, she's like, it was because they came, they just, hey, hi, how are you? They did the job and they left.
Yeah.
They didn't. I'm all for. Asking how your day was. Yes, we run a business. Yes, we have to get to work and stuff. But taking 5-10 minutes out of your time just to speak to the customer and talk to them,
I think those little things go a long way. Again, in the world of customer service, if you watch this podcast, you'll hear me say that I think customer service is down. I think that a lot of people don't invest in it anymore. I think people want everything to go through an email or a text. They don't want to call to their office. That's why we have Kristen from 8:30 to 5, Monday to Friday, so that anybody that calls Wingman or you or a couple other companies that that Kristen answers for is so that we could give a professional 8:30 to 5, Monday to Friday. We're here to serve, and help you. Like I don't, if someone has a problem, I'll always say, did you call your account manager? Did you call Kristen? Like, how can we help you? Just again, so that we can provide you that service. And I think again, that goes a long way. So walking to the door and taking those 5 extra minutes, like Nick says too, like let's walk around the house. I think that makes it a better experience in a world of experience that's not always the greatest. And I think a lot of the larger companies don't have the owner on the job site in a lot of cases. So I think you guys have that competitive advantage right now where you guys can be on the job sites, to make Mrs. Jones feel very comfortable with doing work with you guys.
People they're not spending $50. They're not spending $10. They're not spending $100.
Yeah.
The minimum for me to come out is $275.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you want me to wash one piece of concrete. It's going to cost you $275. That's it.
Yep.
So people, especially in today's economy, where inflation's at an all-time high, people can barely go to the store and buy 6 eggs. You know what I mean?
You got to pay people. You got to run your trucks.
You want to
make. Do they sell 6 eggs? Or you have to buy the 12.
It's called half a dozen.
Half a dozen.
You go to ShopRite. I know you have a chef that goes out and gets all your meals and stuff, but the common folk like us, we have to go to ShopRite. But when they're spending hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars with us, now thousands of dollars, because of all the services that we offer.
That you offer.
If you're going to spend $1,000, $2,000. I just signed a job for next week, $4,000.
Nice.
Okay. Now, with that being said, they're spending money.
Mm-hmm.
They need to. You want your customer to know that they're valued, and you're not
Sure.
just there for the money. Because the money's great for us, but I've said it 100 times. That guy's gonna give me, when I'm done with that job next week, I'm gonna get a check.
Mm-hmm.
Great. I'm gonna pay myself. I'm gonna pay my guy. I'm gonna pay for my equipment. I'm gonna pay my insurance. I'm gonna do all that. Then I'm gonna go out. I'm probably gonna get something to eat. And guess what? $4,000 gone.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's you want them to understand why you're doing it, make them feel important, understand that you actually give a shit about them and their home and what's going on. You're not just like, like Tom said, hey, I'm here, gonna wash your house.
Yeah.
Okay, bye. All right, I'll just knock when I'm done. Hey, we're all done. Pay me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because that
They want to feel
Yes.
comfortable calling you again next year,
Yep.
and you want that.
Absolutely. I mean,
not only that, but they're gonna tell their mother. They're
Yes.
gonna. So
Yeah, their
I
friends.
little backstory of something I did this year. I've washed the same house every year for the last 4 years. I go, I do it. I did another house, and then I got a call for a lady in Brick, and she says, "Hey, you do so and so's house." I said, "Yes, I do." Well, that's my niece. I said, oh, "Okay, cool." She goes, "But you also did my sister's house, and you also did her sister-in-law's house." Mind you, I had no idea they were related.
Mm-hmm.
My takeaway from that was, I don't need to know that they're related. My service is speaking for itself.
Absolutely. But if you knew that they were related, that gives you an extra value to make it even more special experience for them.
No, because related or not, you're
still
still
gonna
going to get the service, whether you're a first-time customer, a repeat customer, the CEO of Verizon. It doesn't matter. You're going to get the same service no matter who you are and what service you're buying.
Fair.
Yeah.
I like that.
You could do like a little 900 square foot ranch house. They're gonna get the same exact quality that 6,000 square foot house on the island's gonna get, and they're both gonna be just as happy. You gotta, it has to be a standard in the business. You put that in, you instill that in your guys. You make sure you instill it in yourself too, because you constantly have to remind yourself. I can't tell you how many times. I might have been having with the hot days, you're stressed and you want to get home, but you just want to make sure you are constantly providing that
Stay on,
quality.
yeah.
Keep the smile on, speak with the customer, be personable, and just tank it through.
So now, if you're gonna after the summer, you're gonna go back into your handyman world.
Yeah, we do.
From October to.
It's like about November back up to, we started this year a little early in February. It was cold out. We were out there in hoodies and jackets washing houses. And I mean, now I have a
Do you
trailer.
think that's too early or no?
No, it's not too early. And I'm actually this year thinking about, it definitely will slow down, but now we have a hot water machine as well on the trailer.
I feel like somebody said that was a good idea.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know who that guy was.
But now we got because Nick's like, oh, the hot water's great, this, that, and I was like, all right, you know what? And then the one I had hired Justin. I was like, I need another machine to give to him so we can tackle stuff together quicker. And I was like, you know what? It makes sense to get this machine. Let's do that. So now that we have that, going through the winter, yeah, we'll still offer that service, but a lot of the service is going to start being like gutter cleaning, like leaf cleanups. Yard work, handyman work, stuff like that. But yeah.
Now, what do you do come the off season?
I come and work for Wingman Planning. No,
Oh.
We spins the arrow outside.
Yeah. I dress up in a hot dog suit.
We're looking for some interns.
There you go.
We plow snow.
Okay.
Which we'll probably team up with you on that too.
Pretty much.
So you're snow in the winter and you get all your stuff. If I recall from your podcast, you get all your equipment serviced.
We get everything serviced. We get everything done.
We
make sure. That's why the truck's got service now. So that way, in the wintertime, I don't have to serve. I just change the oils beforehand and then slap the plows on and go to work. And my investor owns J Tree Service, and his father owns Gretna Green Landscaping. So we team up with them and we do plowing for them, things like that.
Cool.
So it works out.
So that's your winter. and then you'll be ready for the spring again. And you start just as early?
Yeah, pretty much.
I never close.
Okay.
You know, because of the hot water, I never really close. What I do is I'll winterize.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't winterize, so I don't winterize until I'm gonna get consistently 20-degree weather.
Yeah.
So like this year, I only winterized for like a month.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. You know, but other than that, I'm always ready to go to work. You know, if it's gonna be above, I say 40, because everything needs to dry.
Mm-hmm.
So I could wash, but then the concrete's wet, and then it goes to 32 at night.
Yeah.
Well, then it's frozen, and I'm responsible.
Yeah.
I gotta buy salt, I gotta sprinkle. Somebody
Yeah.
falls, it's my fault. Like, no, I'm not dealing with that.
No.
You know what I mean?
So now, coming into the next season, as you guys are starting to think or early think about this, what's the goals for 2025? I mean, you had an aggressive goal in 24. You might not. You might hit it. You might not hit it.
It's gonna stay that way. But this year, next year, 2025, I'm always gonna do houses. Love houses.
Okay.
I want to gear more towards commercial.
Okay,
This year, I've
cool.
done more commercial work than I've ever done.
Okay.
However, I feel like in the commercial space, there's more repeat. So, I mean, you know, I've done McDonald's for 2 years now.
Okay.
I've done a couple more buildings. I did one for Devin down in Millville.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Devin.
I've done, you know, like I said, I'm doing another one in Barnegat next week. And just offering that continued service. You know, like I do Mrs. Walker's, things like that. Like, it's great. There's more consistency in it, and there's more eyes in it. Like, I can advertise all I want. I can put up, you know, as many ads and da-da-da-da-da. When I'm on Route 9 in Forked River for 2 hours, and a 7x16 billboard is parked out in front of that Mrs. Walker's, how many cars drive by that?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
There's more faces.
A lot of visibility.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's
And they
what
see your
I want.
work.
Yes.
And I think the beautiful thing with that is they see your work. Like, you you guys know I'm a fan of the lawn sign, because if I'm not home, like you said, you have a huge billboard. But if I'm not home when you did my neighbor's job, and I don't want to go talk to my neighbor after work, I want to know who did the work because it looks nice, and that's why I'm a fan of like a lawn sign. But I think that the billboard is great because you're literally there, and then even if they saw you and come back to Mrs. Walker's, they could see the work that you did.
Well, Mrs. Walker's has a sign that hangs on their patio out back.
Very nice.
I made sure that I put one of those.
There you go.
there.
Yeah.
You know, I have I'm on the TV at Diesel's. You
Uh-huh.
know, 'cause they have a rotating one of all
TV.
businesses. I'm on there because, you know, Jimmy's a good friend of mine. I've done his place. You know, I enjoy the commercial work.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been the type of guy that wants to deal with more owner people because, you know, owner people don't talk about how they can't pay their bills. You know what I mean? Owner people don't talk about how, you know, they only make $20 an hour. You know, they talk about bigger, more extravagant goals, life things, and that's where you want to be. You know, if I'm sitting here carrying on a conversation with some guy who makes $20 an hour, tells me, not that there's anything wrong with that guy, I'm just saying, you know, the guy who makes $20 an hour, struggling to pay his bills, well, guess what? I don't have those problems. Why am I going to entertain that conversation? I want to hear about how I'm going to make my money make me money. You know what I mean? Those are how you succeed in life. You are the average of the 5 people you associate yourself with.
I think that's a very fair statement. Tomas, what are your goals?
I'm kind of, man, I feel like all over the place because right now I'm
What's the big goal?
literally going
What's
through
the
it right
big
now.
goal?
I would like to also get like some good steady commercial work. We started dipping into it a lot more this year than we did last year. We do a funeral home in Wall on 35. We do a roof inspection every 2 months. You know, gutter cleaning. You want to keep the settling water off this roof because it's a flat roof, and if it settles, you know, it can leak through the sealer on the roof. We just did an apartment complex, just some concrete and stuff, so we're hoping to get that kind of being reoccurring. We actually got that. I'll give another shout out to the Handy Dog here in Point Pleasant and Belmar area.
Okay.
Tom, he's awesome. He's gotten me a couple good referrals. He was the one that ended up getting in contact with the apartments, and he was like, Wonder Washers, that's who we're going to send. So, you know, We've dipped into it a little bit. I definitely would love to pick it up though, because it's like Nick said, it's definitely there's a big difference between the residential and the commercial. Still want to do the residential. Still want to scale. I'd love to even maybe by the next year have another truck, another guy full time. You know, 2 full-time guys. I go out whenever I can to help pick up the slack if there's slack. We have the trailer. You know, that'd be great. I would love to do that.
Because with the commercial work, you can. They're going to sign a contract with you. Mm-hmm. It's either going to be. It should be 3 years, realistically. It goes up 5% every year naturally due to inflation, things like that. However, you can schedule that work July, August, September, so that way you keep going instead of March to July. Mm-hmm. You know,
right?
So
yeah, kind of offset like when you're like at that week-to-week point, like we were talking about before. Mm-hmm. So that's always good to have.
Makes
You're
sense.
going to make your most money and you're going to hit your highest numbers during those spring months. However, you want to be able to transition that to keeping those numbers relatively close throughout, you know, the 6-8 months that you're actually out here. You know, if I can keep my best week, I had my best week I've ever had in 4 years that I've been open this season. And
it's great.
If I could do those numbers every week,
life would be great.
It would be awesome, right?
I would have hit that 250K.
Yeah.
But, you know, this week was much slower. Next week's going to be a little bit busier. Mm-hmm. But it's like, you're never losing money. However, you want to make that consistent income over a certain amount of time. Mm-hmm. Like, snow removal is great, but if it doesn't snow, then
it's nothing.
Kind of up shit's creek.
Yep. Yeah. Especially in Jersey too. It's like we always get the cold winters without all the snow.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, we were out, I think, last year for a few times. There was only both me and
there was a couple storms, and that was it.
Yeah, and we were just sitting around basically scraping dirt.
You know, I think we're going to have a cold winter this year.
Yeah.
I also think that, you know, this year, we're in an election year, so people are a little nervous as to how things are going to play out. So I think people are more cautious with how they're spending their money. Mm-hmm. I think after November and people see what's going to happen, I think people will spend more money next year because I think things are going to get better. Mm-hmm. And then that will help businesses like us because we're a luxury service. We're not a requirement.
No.
Like, if you're struggling to pay your mortgage, guess what?
Probably
you don't
not
care
paying
if there's
to
mold
wash
in
the
your
house. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you're making more money, life's better. Now you're going to spend more money to upkeep things.
Yep,
It's a
natural progression.
Yes, you have to pay attention to those things to be able to figure out where you need to scale, pull back at, you know, what you need to do differently. Like I did one of those sponsored ads recently for July. It's been decent, you know, it's been okay. And you know, I don't advertise. Yeah. I never have. I've done this might be my third sponsored ad in 4 years. Like I don't do it. Yeah. It's mostly word of mouth and Facebook. That's it. Now, you know, it's what works for me.
Sure.
Tom might get great off of Google or Instagram or whatever. I don't use IG. I don't like it. I think it's, you know, it's Twitter.
You should change your mind on that because it definitely helps.
It's Twitter for people who can't read. It's just pictures.
But it's been around for a long, long time. And I'll tell you what, dude, like I used to have like personal Instagram and everything like way before I got off it because I was like, kind of just, it's like I felt the same way. Yeah. And then I was a little hesitant at first with the Instagram thing when I first started the handyman. And then I noticed like a lot of my marketing, it'll go to, you know, I post in my Facebook groups. It's a lot of referral, you know, by mouth. But I always still post in the groups. I haven't actually done too many sponsored ads this year. Done like a few. But, I mean, you know, just I'm like losing my train of thought.
Yeah, right? But, so, I mean, I think you guys have to just figure out, like, you know, where those best advertisements are, because, you know, there's going to be differences based on who you are, who your customers are. But I mean, that's
Like,
part of it.
When Tom brought up the Facebook groups,
Yeah.
it's free advertising.
They're great too.
Not only that, but hopefully Tom will agree with me. I think there is a sweet spot, and it has to be a Saturday between 8:30 and 10:30. Because that's when people are waking up.
Yes.
They're laying in bed. They're scrolling through their Facebook before they get up and start their day.
Yep.
So that's like, yeah, you can do it whenever you want. Don't get me wrong. But posting at 1:30 on a
something.
Tuesday afternoon when everybody's working,
Yeah.
you're going to get pushed all the way down, because how many more people are going to post something in that group
Yeah.
before 8:30 when your kids are in bed and you're finally sitting down
Yep.
to look at your Facebook?
Yeah.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Or you post after their lunch break. Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's different. Like, I'm on Facebook all day long. Why? Because I'm always looking for work. I'm doing this. I'm trying to find, you know. So, for me, you could post at any time. Chances are I'm going to see it. But someone who works, like, here, you know, I'm sure you don't want Maddie sitting on her phone looking for a power washer while she's on the clock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
So
don't.
you know,
Luckily, you know a couple.
Well, the good thing is my guys are always on Facebook and Instagram and the social medias, because, you know, companies have us
Yes.
working for them
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
them. But yes, I understand exactly. So
it's-
Back to that Instagram thing. That's what
figured
I
it
was. It took me a second.
the
Still
hamster
early for
got
me.
back on the wheel. That's all. Yeah.
It happens, man. I got a million things run through my mind. No, the Instagram thing is great. I was trying to say it's not as big of a scale as like Facebook groups, but I'll tell you what. There's been a lot of other business owners that I follow through networking events. You know,
Yep.
maybe you do a podcast with somebody. I follow somebody. They see me at a networking event. Now they're seeing my post all over Instagram. I can't tell you how many times, like, I don't get contacted directly on Instagram. I'll get contacted, phone, Kristen gets them,
Yep.
Whatever. And they'll be like, yeah, one lady, she was like, I've been following you on Instagram for 3 months, and I've been meaning to call you.
That's
Now
great.
now
That's
you're finally
awesome.
here.
I
I'm like,
love it.
that's awesome. I love it. And social media, I do a lot of
Yep.
social media.
I will
A
say
lot.
this about Tom. Tom, now we have a group chat, yada yada yada. Tom found the key to it, I would say. Like, he's very good at making videos. He's very good at the time lapse thing. Me, I'm like a dinosaur. I don't really know how. Like, I made one the other day, like a couple months ago. It was the first one I made. I sent it in the group. I was so excited about it. And then he sends one, and I'm like, fuck, this is better than mine. What did he do? Like, how
Was
do
it
I...
the Huck 2 girl?
Yeah,
Everybody loved that
he's
one, man. That
he
was
comes
funny.
up with some of the best ones, and it's just I admire that about
Yeah,
him.
nice.
That's something that he has found a way to make his business stand out differently than mine. And you know what? That's great. I would love to do it. I try to figure it out. I mess with it a little bit. I'm a very big before and after, company name across the picture. Boom. That's
Simple.
it.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm sure people want to see, all the mold come off the house, watch me surface clean, yada, yada. I'm sure people want to see that. You want to see that, call me, I'll come to your house and I'll show you firsthand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's good to always have like a mixture. If you go on my Instagram feed, you'll see I post like, the traditional before and afters, although I haven't done it in a while. I've been making a lot of videos and cap cuts and stuff like that, and they work great. People laugh at them. Sometimes you get a couple people who are like, hey, that's not that funny. I'm like, don't laugh. Don't comment. Who cares?
Yeah.
Whatever. It's not bothering you. But
Thanks for reaching out.
yeah, thank you. What can I do better? That's how I usually would handle that. I had one where a cat was like hitting somebody, and they were like, "Oh, that's wrong." I'm like, it's just a funny video. If there's something that I could do better, and you can give me some insight, tell me.
I got to be honest with you.
Apply it.
I may sound cocky. I may sound arrogant. It is what it is. I am who I am. I'm not your company.
Yeah.
My company has shirts that say "Want to get wet." I'm not your company if you don't like it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? It is what it is. We wear the American flag. You don't like it? It is what it is. I'm not your guy.
It's fair. It's
Yeah.
understandable.
Absolutely.
Guess what? There's companies out there that I don't shop with because I don't like their values. But guess what? I can get the same things at another store. They can call Tom. Mm-hmm. They're more than welcome to. Not saying Tom doesn't agree with what I agree, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Right.
Yeah.
There's another company out there.
Everybody's got to find the company
you can call.
Exactly.
That's why there's Ford, Honda, Mazda.
Exactly. All right. So as we wrap up today,
Let
let
We've only been
everybody
here for half an
know where they can find you. Whoever wants to go first can go first.
Go ahead.
All right. You can find us at getwetpowerwashingnj.com. Beautiful website built by the one and only. And you can find us on Facebook, Get Wet Power Washing. You can call us at 732-996-5002. I always want to give everybody my cell phone number.
Don't
and
do
I
that.
hate doing
All
that.
right, say your phone number one more time so that, people know that you really know it.
732-996-5002.
Excellent. And then, Tom, where can they find you?
You could find us on Instagram, Facebook, Wonder Washers New Jersey, or NJ. It would be on Instagram. Our website's wonderwashersnj.com. You could call or text 732-703-2394. You'll get Kristen at Wingman. If you call the office, or you could shoot me a text, I'll get it directly. And
If you have an iPhone, you could just FaceTime them.
you could FaceTime me too, yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well,
It's the only way I'm able to get in touch with them during the day. Otherwise, I got to talk to Kristen.
But she's great. There's nothing
worst
wrong
thing
with
to
that.
talk
No, it's not. It's not. But if I need a question answered, it's like, hey, Kristen, can you have Tom call? Just FaceTime him. I've seen this guy's face more in
That's
2
funny
weeks
that
than I
he's
have.
FaceTiming you now.
Yeah.
Once Kristen got involved, now he's FaceTiming.
I found the loophole.
Awesome. Well,
Don't tell
gentlemen, thank
everybody.
you for coming in today.
Wait. And even though Jimmy couldn't be here,
Oh, yes.
right?
We have to
you
give
can
a shout
find
out to
Jimmy
Jimmy
at
Keegan.
Oceanside Power Washing on Facebook. I don't know his phone number. I don't know his website. I think it's Ocean.
Should we look it up real quick?
Yeah, look it up real quick.
Just give him a minute. Let's see. Stand by, everybody.
Don't go nowhere. It's like sleepy elevator. Man.
Oceanside Exterior Power Washing.
All right.
Power Washing, oceancounty.com is his website. And 732-691-9743 is his number.
And that's to reach Oceanside Jimmy. Jimmy also, now I know we're getting into the wintertime. Jimmy's not here. Obviously, he was supposed to be here. Jimmy also does Christmas lights.
Yes.
So, and they're not the kind where you buy them from Home Depot and he strings them up. They're
Custom
professionally installed. They're professionally cut. They're professionally wired. If something happens, like a clip breaks or blows off, he comes out. He fixes them. You buy the lights. He stores the lights. He comes back out the next year, puts them up for you, tests them all, replace whatever bulbs need to be replaced, yada, yada, yada. So for power washing or Christmas lights and things like permanent lighting, things like that, call him, get on his schedule. I'll tell you what, the lighting he does on these houses,
Amazing.
they look amazing.
They look great.
Amazing. So give him a call if you need anything too.
Great plug for Jimmy.
Yeah.
Good job.
His Christmas lights thing is Christmas lights by Oceanside, I believe.
Yes,
Right?
yes. And like I said, give him a call. He's also a firefighter. That's why when he said he was in a blaze, he didn't melt. He was fighting fire, saving lives. So.
Doing what he does.
Excellent. You guys have a wonderful weekend, and I'll be in touch with you guys soon. Thank you.
Awesome.
All right.
Talk to you, man. Thanks
All right,
for having
all
us.
right.